Welcome back, everybody. This is season 3. We're here with Billy and Aaron. I know we've been a little bit MIA, but I was busy. Well, not me. My wife was busy having a kid. So, yeah, we have a newborn at home, and yeah, I just took time off of work and took time off the podcast. So we were like, we gotta jump back in because then we won't let the podcast die. But I wanted to talk about like what's it like, being a dad and all, because yeah, I'm a father of two now. So I was talking to these guys. I'm like, let's talk about kids. Let's talk about family here. So I want to hear like you guys' opinions on all of that. Like, do you guys see yourself having a family in the future?
Uh, Not me personally.
Like at all?
No, not at all. And I know that my mom, being a very traditional Hispanic Mexican, she's very upset about that. I can tell you that much. Not having kids, don't want to have kids, and my mom, being a very traditional Hispanic woman, is very upset about that. But
Is your reasoning like you're just in general you don't want to bring anybody into the world, or
yeah,
what's your reason?
I mean,
What was the reason?
I don't,
He cut off again.
I don't think I would make a good father. But other than that, I don't know. I just want to be able to do things that I want without having to take a kid with me, type thing. If I was like, if I
Makes
happen to have
sense.
the
I mean,
money in like a few
it's
years
not
to
it's not
travel,
for
it would be
everyone,
nice to
but
travel without kids.
do
You know.
you agree with what Aaron's saying, Billy?
I mean, once upon a time, yeah, I saw myself one day finding somebody, settling down, getting that white picket fence thing. But I mean, after a while, it just didn't happen, and I'm really sad about it. Not to mention, like I was mentioning earlier, that like look at the economy, look at the climate, look at everything that's going on in the world. Honestly, I raised somebody in a world where I'm struggling to get them by, and then for them to have to struggle even whenever they get to my age, like even whenever I was born, like it's been a struggle. Like I can't imagine bringing something else into that, and not to mention a lot of my hobbies would have to go by the wayside for 9 times out of 10 any relationship that I would get in. Most of my hobbies would have to go because they're not accepted socially.
You
I
say that
guess.
like you do some bad stuff.
I mean, I don't. I mean, like
It's okay.
like I've
It's
got
okay to
figures and pops, and then I play video games and I watch anime. Like not a lot. I mean, not a lot. Like don't get me wrong, a lot more people are doing that now. But I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here like, well, I'm gonna stick to this because that's not out there. I mean, it could be out there, but this makes me happy.
Yeah.
And getting in, and I'm okay with that.
You guys are thinking a lot about of it, which is good because I didn't really think about that. Like I didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna have 2 kids and I'm gonna have this house and I'm gonna be married. Like it all just sort of happened. It wasn't something that I planned. Like I always knew like I would want to have kids, but I was like not something that if I didn't have or couldn't have, like it wouldn't be like the end of the world sort of thing. But
Well,
I understand what you guys are saying, though.
what a nice way to tell your kids that they were unplanned. And confirm to everybody that you don't know how to pull out either.
Why do you always go there? You're so interested in my pull-out
Because
accuracy.
we all suffer the consequences. As a planet, we all suffer the consequences.
No, I actually like. I understand what you guys are saying. Like, why bring somebody into this world and everything? But I mean, to me, like that's life. Like, what else are you gonna get out of life if not that? Like, I know
About
you
your
guys
own
have.
happiness.
Well, yeah, but like
Not
if I
everybody's
die,
happiness is bringing somebody else into a broken world.
that's
Some people's
true.
happiness is finding their own happiness and making it happy for people around them. We're miserable. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, but
But like,
I mean,
do you ever
you
think about
definitely
it?
remind
Like,
me
what if you
of
die tomorrow? Like, what are
my
you leaving behind?
kind
Like,
of
at
like my
least
mother,
I'm
because
leaving behind a legacy, like
You're
two
also
kids.
leaving a line a lot. You're leaving behind a lot more pain and suffering with people that that don't have you for their future. As somebody who's lost their parents at a young age, lost their parent at a young age, I'll tell you right now, when he left this world, it didn't leave me anything behind but pain for years, trauma for years, therapy that I needed to unpack for years. That didn't. What did that leave? He didn't leave me any money. He didn't leave me anything to further myself. All he left me was more problems, which is what he brought me into, a world of problems. So what am I leaving behind? I'm leaving behind my legacy of who I am to the people that I know and love around me. And I'm not putting somebody else in a burden to take care of where I left off. Nobody's got to pick up where I left off right now. Like, there's nobody that has to grab the mantle of man of the house for me.
Yeah, is
uh,
that kind of what you're thinking, Aaron?
not necessarily, but I can somewhat relate to Billy because my dad for my entire life he was either walking with a cane or on a wheelchair, and I didn't have like a normal dad or normal dad activities. Like I didn't have a dad that would play soccer with me or play catch with me. I didn't really have he kind of taught me a lot of kind of like maintenance wise for like the home, but it was because he owned a hardware store, and he would kind of tell me what things were for. Or I would listen to the clients asking for stuff. Um, but yeah, like unfortunately for my like father son type relationship, it was kind of hindered the whole time because it wasn't like we could go out and do things together.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, like, dad didn't even give me those situations, much less my mom being in and out of prison my entire life. All I'm doing is learning all the things that they should have taught me growing up. And that's what I've been doing my whole life. So I don't feel like, yeah, if you were to die today, your legacy would go on in your children, but the legacy that you're leaving behind if you die today is a struggle for your children because they have to deal with that loss for many years and all the things that they didn't learn or understand, or the things that you didn't get to teach them that their mother can't teach them, or they have to see their mother be a single widowed mother trying to provide for two kids. Like,
yeah,
and that's a struggle right there in itself. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not saying, like, more power to you. Like, that's your legacy, that's what you choose to do, and I'm not going to hate on you for it, because I mean, you're proud of it, and you should be. Doesn't take away from the legacy that I want to leave behind, all the good times and good memories that I put in for all of my friends, coworkers, those that are around me. Like, memories I leave behind is all I want to be experienced if I were to pass away right now. I would not want a funeral. I would not want anybody to go and cry over me. I'd want them to celebrate my life instead of mourn my death.
yeah.
I'm gonna go cry for you just because you said not to.
I mean, that's your God-given right. If
No.
that's what you if that's what you believe in and want to do, you do you. But
You really,
afterwards, celebrate my life.
you really think you're gonna outlive Billy?
Dude,
Wow,
what?
that's fucked up. He's like 20 years older than me. I should be able to outlive him.
20
Billy's
years older than
healthy.
20 years older than you, huh?
Billy's healthy. He doesn't smoke, drink. He doesn't do nothing.
I remember that. 20 years older than me, huh?
So, so I see where you guys are coming from. Like I'm scared too. Like I see all the things that are bad in the world, and I'm worried also. Like my son is not. How do you say it? Like he hasn't been diagnosed with anything, but I feel like he's been delayed, like speech wise, and like I feel like that's gonna be something where he's gonna possibly make me fun of, or like might need therapy sort of thing. And like just the whole bullying thing, the whole like like what if he grows up and he's unable to speak correctly, or things like that. Like I know what I'm bringing him into, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna live in fear of like, what if this, what if that, like I have to be hopeful that that he'll have a good life. But I also agree.
So what if he needs therapy? Therapy shouldn't be something that's like looked down upon or made fun of. Therapy is something that some of the people that have the healthiest lifestyles, doesn't matter whether you lived a life of trauma or you just have a little stress that you want to get past. Therapy is not a bad thing, and it shouldn't be looked upon as just a bad thing. And if he needs to go to therapy, then that's your job to empower. And in my opinion, like, it's your job to, like, hey, do you need to talk to somebody and you don't feel comfortable with me, or either you need to talk to somebody professionally? Sure. You know what? Do you need me to go with you, or you want to do it alone?
Yeah, I
And there
agree.
are plenty of speech. Like, I remember in school, there is literally classes that are for people who have speaking disorders. And some of them were pretty cool. Were the pretty, like, coolest people and down to earth and chillest people that I talked to.
Yeah.
Sometimes the broken toys that go to the dump are the most fun to play with. I am the king of the aisle of the misfit toys. Come on.
I do agree with Billy when he says that some of the healthiest people are the ones that go to therapy. That's like 100% correct. 'Cause you can't expect to be healthy if you don't like go to a doctor, and that same thing would apply to your mind. You can't expect to be healthy if you're not going to a therapist. And it can be for myriad of things. It doesn't necessarily have to do with bullying or depression. It can be just talking about whatever it is that's in your mind, and you don't have somebody that might listen, or somebody that's not experienced with what you want to talk about.
This kind of actually goes back to something that you said that you've had to deal with in the past, Brandon, that don't listen well, or you don't you have trouble somebody, like when you were younger, you didn't have somebody that would listen well because you had traditional parents that they work. Your job was to go to school, do your thing, come home, and your feelings, you're a man, get over it. Yeah, so that's not how it should be in this world. It's, you got some problems. What are these problems? Do you need somebody professional to talk about? We can make sure that we can take care of that. Or am I good enough? Because I'll listen.
Yeah, like that's what I'm kind of not scared of doing therapy. I'm worried of like other kids, like other kids treating him differently. But definitely like what you just mentioned, that communication that I didn't have, I'm for sure gonna offer that. I'm gonna be there. That's kind of something I've been doing. Like what I didn't have, what I didn't go through, I'm doing it for my son. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it for my newborn. Like I'm gonna try to be that dad that I didn't see or that I expected. That's something that I've been actually doing.
So I feel like you're focusing on the variables that you can't control, and that's other people. You got to focus on the variables you can control, and then empower him from there.
What I would do is, I think you're worried that your kid's gonna get bullied in school, and you should teach him to go to an adult, go to like a professor, principal, and be like, hey, this is what's going on. And then if they don't do anything, then just duke it out.
Teach him how to knuckle up.
You should
teach him talk shit, get hit.
He knows how to hit. That's one of the other issues. But no, it's just his speech
There's
delayed.
a different therapy for that. That's called anger management. Let's think about that too. Let's package that all in there with therapy. Because if he starts getting bullied and then starts getting in trouble in school, there becomes a problem that you can control, right?
Yeah.
Discipline. Therapy can actually help that too. Give them a outage. Like, for example, like he's frustrated, comes home from school frustrated, pissed off because he spent all day getting bullied. You know what would be a good thing to teach him? Mixed martial arts, boxing. Yeah. A way to focus that energy into something positive. Football, soccer, like,
or
whatever.
Just beat other kids.
Or just, beat the shit out of the kids that are bullying them.
They'll
leave him alone eventually. Or, that.
No, another thing that I was waiting to tell you guys. I didn't tell you.
A third one?
It happens. Actually, I heard about a case where a woman gave birth, and then she had to go back to the hospital like a week or a month later because she had another baby and another developing. but it was being covered by the first baby, so they couldn't see it.
Like a delayed twin or something.
Kind of, yeah, but it was developing on a separate, like on a separate sac. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Embryo. I don't know. No,
but-
but I didn't tell you guys what happened. So I know me saying this out loud, I feel like I'm such a bad parent. But like, what was
Agreed.
it? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we took my son to a checkup appointment, and his hemoglobin, like basically his iron, was so like low, like super low, like emergency kind of low. So
Okay.
we had to take him to the ER and get a transfusion. Like it was that bad. Like, and after like researching and everything, like when kids iron goes that low, like death basically is something that can happen. And like I just feel so disappointed in myself and you know in general because we didn't catch that. And I'm gonna use the podcast to like kind of tell everybody like what to look out for because it's super difficult to look out for what happened because there's no signs. Like the only signs that would show you that something is wrong is if they start eating ice or if the white of their eyes shows blue, or if they seem more fatigued, more like what's it called, fussy. Those things are like showing you okay, something's wrong.
Do you have an iron deficiency?
No. That's why I'm not fussy. Did you?
I'm just gonna say, if your kid's eyes are turning blue, the whites on his eyes are turning blue, I feel like that's a big red flag.
Okay, you say that, but it's not gonna like it's not gonna highlight blue. Like it's just a shade of white that has blue, but you don't know that. Like I know that now because that's what all the doctors told us, and you know that because I just told you. But nobody, like not everybody knows that, so that's why
I feel like you're blaming yourself for something that
you didn't know.
There's no way. Did you take his blood? Are you like running blood diagnosis on him daily? Is that something you do? No.
But
you have checkups with him. You take him to the doctor, right? Have checkups.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a funny story.
It's gonna be a funny story in 20 years. The thing is like I get it. You're beating yourself up for this because this is what you do.
Yeah,
because it's like nutrition is the simplest.
Are you
task.
feeding him? Are you feeding him? I mean, not feeding.
Well, that's another thing that happened. Like since he was drinking too much milk, whenever that happens, that's why the iron thing happens. Because too much milk means they don't need, and then don't need means no other vitamin except calcium. Only calcium goes in, so no iron, no nothing. So yeah. But nutrition is like the basic task, and we got it wrong. So like,
I mean, nutrition. I mean, a lot of the times nutrition's hard for even us. You can't expect to be perfect for somebody else.
I just want to bring it back to something that you said that you didn't know. So why are you being so hard on yourself if you didn't know?
Because what if it had gone to like a further extent where he lost his life and like we're here just not knowing stuff?
Yeah, it didn't get that far. So why are you worrying about something that didn't happen?
Get that far?
I'm worried because what if somebody else goes through this and they don't even know what to look out for?
Okay, well now they know what to look for.
I can guarantee you can go to any parent that has multiple kids, and they will tell you stories of the times that you're doing what you're doing right now. They're like, man, that first kid, everything wrong could have possibly gone wrong on that kid. I mean, I dropped him, or I did this, or I did that, and it's like, well, I had a panic attack, and then the second one came along, and it's like I learned things from the first one. The first one survived.
Yeah,
they learned. I did the second one better than the first one because I learned everything. They didn't die. I learned how to be a better parent because of my kids. It's not like there's a book that is perfectly defines on how to raise your children. There's books out there, but come on, dude, it's your child. You're gonna make mistakes. You have to be ready to make those mistakes because the last thing you want your kid to do is see you beating yourself up about it, because guess what they're going to start doing whenever they make mistakes?
Beating themselves up.
Yeah, they emulate what they see. They're already getting that high anxiety and the stupid thing you do with your throat when you're fucking anxious.
I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
I just,
You have no way of proving that.
but it would just be a funny story to tell in like 20 years. It's like, hey,
Or no.
when you were a kid, you almost died, and now you didn't die. So,
I don't think he has dark humor.
well,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't have it when I was younger, but I discovered it.
I do want to talk about the fact that your kid almost died, and you didn't tell us about it, and we're supposed to be your friends.
Well, yeah, like how my first thought not gonna be text you that something's happening.
It would be mine if I had a kid, and after the dust settle, I'll be like, oh shit, my kid almost fucking died, and you're my friend, so I'm gonna talk to you about it, to you and Billy, but it's
That's what I'm
okay.
doing. That's what I'm doing right now.
My kid
Yeah,
basically died.
like 3 weeks after it happened, but it's okay. We just gotta find out through other people.
No, I mean we're still
I found out through
waiting.
him.
We're still waiting on his next checkup. We're gonna see like if it could be anything else, but I'm 100% sure it's because we kept feeding him milk and like he just basically wasn't getting any iron. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Now he's on iron tablets.
No, yeah, liquid drops were giving him iron right now. But hopefully he gets better. He definitely seems like a completely different person, and that's another reason I was beating myself up because I'm like, the signs were like obviously there, but we thought he was just being like that because a new baby was coming. But it wasn't that. It was because he was basically like, his body was like, hey, I'm not good.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so fuzzy. He's happier. He's doing good right now. So hopefully there's nothing bad that he has. We just gotta watch what he eats.
Hopefully, next time something major happens, you'll let your friends know. Just saying.
You act like you
saying,
tell me everything that happened in your life.
Dude, nothing happens in my life. I'm for sure not having 2 kids. I can tell you that.
True.
Like nothing's going on in my life. I mean, I can text you
Anytime
every
you
time
message me, what's new? You know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I can text you every time I take a dump if you really want.
Nah, I don't want that many
You should
texts.
actually do that. You should text him every time you take a dump. As a matter of fact, why don't you make a Trello or a little card and tag him on it like every time? Yeah, log the time. Yeah,
I'm gonna start logging my times every time I take a poop and keep. I'm gonna put the consistency, the color, the shape.
Oh no!
I'm gonna keep you updated.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
You
they
say
go
that.
They go look at that and we're like,
you say that, but I actually do that with my kids because like we're keeping track of like everything's good.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because that's your kid.
Let me see that shit.
Yeah, like we're being a parent is so freaking weird. Like my son goes obviously in his diaper, and we like examine that. Like we're like, well, how does this look? Does this look normal?
I hate to say it, but you can tell a lot about your health just by looking at poop. So
everybody poops. But yeah, he was also constipated, so we know how that looks like. But
just give him a little Pepsi with some lime, and it'll let him loose.
He doesn't drink soda.
Prune juice, baby. Clean him out.
He doesn't drink soda.
Give
then
some Taco Bell, baby.
You're a bad Mexican parent if he's not drinking soda.
Give him a Taco
I'm
Bell.
over here telling you we're malnutritioning him, and you want me to give him soda?
Dude,
give him some Taco Bell. That'll clean him out.
Did you know that if you take too much iron, it also causes constipation? So like he's also taking Miralax, like so he can go to a restroom.
No, I mean you could just give him fiber if you
all
really
interesting
want to.
stuff. Well, fiber takes longer, I think.
Thickens it up.
But yeah, I mean, I understand you guys' like concerns and why y'all don't want to, but I mean, later on, I bet you guys are gonna change your mind.
No,
when you're expecting, I'll be like, "Hey, what happened? Thought you didn't want them."
And when that day never comes, I'm gonna be like, "Hey,
I'm just gonna hand it over to you." So.
I'll be like, "Hey, what happened?"
No,
wait,
but
nothing.
You know what is weird? So I went to Mexico, right, for my brother's.
That is weird.
His daughter. I was the godfather. So all of my aunts were asking me when I was gonna have a kid, and I was like, "What the?" It was such a weird thing to experience. Like, I never thought I would have. You
gotta do the big brain thing. You gotta do the big brain thing where you say, "We tried, but we had a miscarriage," and then
they just stop asking.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just like it just took me by surprise. I never expected my family to be that involved with me having a kid.
Mister, I got traditional Mexican parents.
I mean, yeah, but I've heard
They're
about like
basically
asking like the females, like the women in their like in the family, but never.
Nah.
Um,
When you gonna give me some grandbabies? I've heard that, and I said, you're
I
barking up the
like
wrong tree. Go look at your other kids.
like I don't want to with my life like in my point of view, I'm like, if I ever started thinking that way, or I mean, I have thought that way, like, what the heck am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? Why do I exist?
mm,
And like once you have a kid, like
your existence isn't procreation. Your
I know
existence
that, but
that is not the purpose of you being here.
I see it as a like they give you purpose. Like if you give up on yourself, you're giving up on them, and that's not right. Like they basically they give you that extra push.
They give you the excuse to prolong the inevitable.
Well, to actually try to at your life and be happy, and try
You
to
can
be
try with
better.
that.
And
who says I'm not trying or trying?
Yeah, but
You
I
don't
mean,
have to.
like,
You don't have to wait until you have kids to start trying to have a life. You could do that before. I don't know if you're aware, but that is an option before you have kids to
okay,
find a
but
purpose in
that's
life.
motivation. That's motivation that
The
Okay,
motivation
so-
comes in all walks and forms.
Okay, so I want to kind of stay on this track, right? Talking about how kids give you purpose, it kind of ties with leaving a legacy behind, right?
Yeah.
Why I've never understood why people get so focused or they like try so hard to leave a legacy, right? Because whether you like it or not, the world is going to end, time and space is going to end at some point. So you could be the greatest human to have ever lived in the history of time and like develop space travel. You are not going to escape death. Your legacy is not going to escape the end. So like I can see, I understand why people get or want to leave a legacy. I can understand your kids giving you purpose like that to be better and do better for yourself and for them. But at the end of the day, it all is going to end. You're not gonna escape the end.
I mean, but that's like really pessimistic. Like, then what's the
It's
point of
not.
even waking up the
realism.
next day?
It's not.
Like,
It's realistic. You can choose
You
to
have
like.
to
Oh my.
find your own purpose to wake up the next day. What do you mean?
okay, I
Yours
I
is
have
your
my own
kid.
purpose.
We hear it.
I'm
We hear it. But
saying,
that's not
like,
what you don't need to have kids to find that purpose.
like
There
I'm
are
not
tons
telling
of
you.
things.
I'm not telling you go have a kid so you can
Right.
have a purpose in your life. I'm saying to me, like,
Yeah.
they are motivation. They keep me going. Like, you look at me and like you're like, why does this dude wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning and say good morning to everybody all happy? Like, it's
Nah.
because I have kids. Like, because I
Okay.
have to be this positive person. Like, I can't
Okay.
give up on myself.
Okay. And here's you're saying I'm being pessimistic, but that's because you're choosing to look at it from a pessimistic point of view. You could also look at it from the other side and knowing that the end is inevitable, you can choose to make the most out of it. You can choose to appreciate every day more that you have your kids because you know that one day that's going to end. So it doesn't have to be a pessimistic thing. You can just choose to enjoy it more knowing that it will end. And so you better make the most of it before it does end, before you realize that, hey, like 45 years have gone by and I never appreciated that time with my kids because I was too focused on work or too focused on being a better person type thing.
I mean, for sure. Like, I think about that every day. Like death is obviously, I know death is near. Like, I know that. Even for me, I'm not like super healthy. I'm not.
Hold on. Whoa. Death is near, huh?
Now that's
For who?
pessimistic.
For who?
You never know. Like,
Definitely not for Billy or I.
Dude, you
Have
see,
you-
see him? He's like, hey.
have you seen Final
He doing this right here,
Destination?
he's doing this right here.
Have you
Hey.
seen Final?
What's up?
Have you seen Final
over here.
Destination?
I'm
There's
pretty
4
close.
movies.
Okay, dude. Yeah, I've seen Final Destination. Yes, I get nervous driving behind a truck that has logs in them. Do I pass them? Yes. But, I mean, death is near.
Yeah,
Wait, 32? Fuck off.
You know what I mean? Like, you can die at any point. Like, I can go right now to my bed and not wake up tomorrow.
Literally anybody could have a brain aneurysm at any point in time in their life. Yes, you can die like that, but doesn't mean death is near. And you can be perfectly healthy and get a brain aneurysm.
But that's what I mean. Like, that's why I take advantage of the present. That's why I'm over here recording with you guys. That's why I'm having kids, because I want to. You know, like, those are things that I want to do before I
That's
go
why I'm
away.
saying that death is near and at every corner, and then it's gonna happen. I'm gonna die
change the
tomorrow.
subject. I'm changing the subject. I'm gonna keep it on death, but I'm gonna change the subject real quick. Are y'all aware of who just died recently?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Not today. It was like
Was
last
it on
week.
the first?
It was like last week.
I thought it was today.
The godfather of anime, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super,
sad.
Dragon Ball. Did y'all see the letters that the person who made Naruto and One Piece wrote? Man, gut rippers, dude. They're like,
you're giving me too much credit that I am, keep up with all of the anime news.
I give you no credit. I just
the
fact that I'm not saying any names, because I know if I would have said a name, you'd be like, but I gave you an anime that I'm like, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
pretty sure you know one of those.
Yeah.
He's like, Dragon Ball Z Kai.
I was like, is he frozen? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know one of those. So I'm kind of like throwing it out there. And I'm probably the only one. I'm probably the only one on that like space in Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot.
Well, Brandon keeps up with it too.
No.
Yeah, did you see that TikTok of like all the Mexican culture?
Dude,
like, they're
did
also
you see
mourning?
that the gangsters setting their dispute aside to celebrate Toriyama?
Yeah.
No, I did not see that.
Well,
but I did see that the Mexican government was playing like all of the Dragon Ball movies on like the open TV.
Yeah, and did you see the turnout for that?
No.
Dude, so many people showed up to that. Like, I'm talking like 30,000 people showed up to that.
Damn.
Like, there's images of people that showed up for that shit, and I'm like, it was a great man. He leaves behind he leaves behind heavy shoes to fill. Just remember that. That's that legacy thing. He's leaving behind big shoes.
Yeah, he finished the last he finished writing the last Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know if he finished the mangaka. I want to say some recent ones were released, but for the most part, like anime wise, like the show, I mean, it wasn't. I don't think there was supposed to be a conclusion, but it could have been a conclusion to Dragon Ball. But I think his son is actually taking the reins and continuing.
Oh, see, there you go. He's continuing the legacy. Brings me back to what I was saying.
Again, big shoes to fill. And you know how cruel this world can be just by your little worry about your kiddo and being bullied in school. Put that on a global scale.
The expectations are high.
Yeah, say like this man his dad had that kind of effect on people worldwide. So just think about that. And sticking to the anime, did you ever check out Mashal like I told you to?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you should.
I've been watching something else.
It's One Punch Man in the world of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like, he's a muscle-bound dude, right? No magic in him whatsoever. But he tries to do things around it. Like, for example, you know the scene in Harry Potter where they're, like, up and to their brooms and they come out to their hands? He's trying to, like, that's a scene in the show where he does that, and a kid's trying to point out, like, hey, you don't have anything going on. And he's like, looks at him, he's like, up, and then stomps the ground hard enough for the broom to come up and hit, for him to catch it.
I think I've seen a preview of that.
Yeah, so it's like, he has no magic. He's just very strong.
Is he like Asta?
Think One Punch Man. Think Saitama. He doesn't have any. He's just really strong, really fast, and like his training regimen was literally what it is. But he's going to school at Hogwarts essentially.
Oh,
like it is.
With no magic.
I'm telling you I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, wait a second. And not to mention, I will say, the Season 2 opener is a fucking certified banger. Dude. I sent it to you, a couple of Fridays ago. Dude, that shit...
Yeah, I heard it.
Slaps.
Let's hope that the guy's son doesn't feel the pressure of keeping up with his dad's legacy and become so depressed that he, just offs himself for not being able to live up to everyone's
Mm.
expectations of himself.
Death is
Damn,
near, right?
why you gotta go there?
Just saying,
You're saying you're not pessimistic.
Death is near, right?
it's a possibility. Just like you're like, oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow. That
I'll be
could
right back.
happen too.
I'm just saying because you never know. Like you could
Well,
die
you never
tomorrow.
know. He could feel the pressure of the entire world being like, you need to be as good as your dad at creating anime, and he can't keep up with it.
I just I don't say it to be like, oh, I'm gonna die soon. I'm saying it like, live your life like if tomorrow wasn't gonna be there. Like even with things like little things like, oh, I want to go to this place. I'm gonna visit this place. Like you're gonna keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Like no, just plan it and go. Like what? Live your life now,
That's what I'm
not
doing.
later when you might not even be here anymore.
Maybe fill in your friends when things are going on in your life, like your kid almost dying. Just
He
saying.
wasn't. It wasn't that critical. That's why I didn't message anybody. But I did tell Vanessa. I'm like,
Okay.
well, yeah, because I wasn't gonna go to work.
So it goes, like probably Brandon's family, and then somebody, and then Vanessa, and then like all the way down here, like
He
even
probably
lower
hold
from
on,
my
wait.
family,
He
like
probably told the morning team too.
Mhm,
Let's not trip. He probably told the morning team too.
I told my
Minus me.
I told my mailman.
Billy and Aaron, he's known for like 7 years. Went to graduated together. Billy has known for like 5 years.
Man,
Worked
hold on.
together for like from like the dawn of time.
This
But
sounds
fuck them,
familiar.
they
Hold
don't
on,
get
wait.
to know.
This sounds familiar. This sounds just like Brandon's issue with David.
You know,
This sounds
well,
way too
at this
familiar.
point, I feel like I'm gonna make David my best friend because Brandon can't bother to text me.
Gonna make him your best friend, or is he already
I mean,
there?
I stopped
I miss that
competing
guy.
after you put his picture up on Facebook.
I miss that guy, dude.
When have you texted me to go and hang out? You haven't done anything.
It goes two ways, and I'm the one with the kids.
He's trying to slick do it with those stupid ass like K barbecue and all kinds of barbecue messages. He's trying to like feed the subliminal thoughts into our heads. Like, hey,
Subliminal. I'm waiting for y'all to go with me. I keep asking you guys.
I want to know. Here's what I want to know. Are we getting
just us three?
Are we getting an invite to your birthday? Because I know your birthday's coming up.
I thought you were gonna take me to Texas Roadhouse.
Are you gonna
take
ride
you?
the
You're the
cattle?
one that should be taking me.
It's my birthday. What are you talking about?
Daddy Warbucks over here, Mister. I got the bank.
I don't even got nothing. I got two
Enough
kids.
money, enough
I
money
gotta
for
Yeah,
feed
exactly.
now.
You got the bank. Ooh,
Listen, if you're
I
gonna
could
ride
afford
the title,
one. So
I'll
I can
take you
barely
to
afford me.
Why do you think that there's such a cost to kids? Like we all eat from the same table.
I've
like,
seen the diaper fee. I've seen formula. I've seen all how much that shit costs. What you mean? I ain't gotta buy all that shit for me.
well, we don't do formula.
That's an extra. Okay,
she
well,
breast-
still
she
the
breastfeeds.
diapers aren't even
Mhm.
game. Diapers, baby wipes, like
It's
come
okay.
on now.
That's why you do baby showers, so you can get like a stock up of diapers and stock up. Of...
Oh, which by the way, we didn't even get an invite for the baby shower.
Yes, I did. I did
No,
invite
you did
you.
not.
Nah,
I invited you and you never got the message. I even screenshotted you. I'm like, hey, look, I sent it to you.
And you couldn't bother to be like, hey, are you gonna come? And then I would have like, come to what? Because I never got a text.
True.
Yeah, and I always feel like I'm begging you like, to hang out with me, and like I'm not gonna be.
You're such a liar. You're such a liar.
You tell David one time like, hey, let's have carne asada in my house, and he goes like,
That's
And
all.
he-
Yeah,
No.
it was shocker that all I had to do was ask him once, and I said, "Let's go."
We have to go to the barbecue place that I went to last time I was over here. It was like kebabs.
the fattening.
Yeah, dude, that shit was delicious. Open till 2 a.m. Not to mention you can get drinks there too if you want them. Like I'm talking about,
We
like
can
on
make it
tap
right now.
beers.
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we
go.
can go. You can go right now. Yeah, you sure about that? You sure about that?
And I'm about to start my shifts.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I said. You sure about that?
All I know is I better be getting a birthday invitation for your birthday before it comes up. I don't want it the day off or the week before. I want like a month in advance invitation.
What the hell?
I want to be
It's
top
a
of the
busy
list.
person
It's
or
gonna
what?
be you're gonna invite your mom, and then you're gonna
If
invite
you're gonna send me an
and then
invite, don't
everyone
send
else.
it to me a month in advance. I don't want to know that. I'll guarantee I forget. I will promise you that I would forget.
My birthday's in April, so I mean, we're gonna remind you this month.
Yeah, you better start texting about it. If I have to find out through Jesus that your birthday is happening, I'm gonna be so upset.
Hold on, wait. Didn't you already say that you were gonna buy him a steak that was medium rare?
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying.
If he's willing to go to Texas Roadhouse and get on the birthday saddle, I'll pay for it.
If there's a saddle, I'm not
There's
gonna. He might.
100% a saddle, dude.
They bring out
100p saddle, dude.
and then you sit on the saddle and everybody sings the happy birthday song. So if you're gonna do that, I'll buy you a steak, I'll buy you a drink, I'll even buy you dessert and an
and
appetizer.
post that bitch on the podcast so everybody else can see that too.
I'll buy you a good steak, a good medium rare steak, and then I'll buy you a separate well done steak so that you can have your shoe leather to eat later on.
But all right, guys. It was good start of the season 3. I did want to talk to you guys about, instead of calling the podcast Borderline Banter Bruce, I know
B
it's
to
a
the
mouth.
3.
Yeah, B to the 3. We could do that, or B cubed. Either way, but and then we can refer to our listeners as QBs.
I mean, you already made it happen. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. At this point, I'm already accepting it. Like, it's there, whatever, cool.
Yeah, I like
Obviously, it. I'm whatever. If I would have had a problem with it, I would have said it earlier. I'm like,
when did we?
What is this
I do have a question.
Change.
I do have a question. When did we start and end season 2?
The last episode, it was Love Is in the Air, the Valentine's. It was already like 10 episodes.
That was the end of season 2. Was the Valentine's episode?
Mm-hmm.
What a terrible way to end
Single Awareness Day episode.
Yeah. But all right, QBs, thanks for listening, and stay tuned for episode 2. We're gonna try this new thing where we just pick a topic, and kind of talk about it with you guys. We're trying to not record for too long. I know y'all are scared of 1-hour episodes.
But either way, focus on topic.
Yeah, but all right, guys. Thanks for listening.